I perceive you've returned with the Shadow Over Cyberspace. Now, in the last stream, I was over here talking with Hastor about his past a bit, more than the other two options that I've chosen, and and told me a bit of what has the first victim, unfortunately, for what is let's see, where was I? Yeah, the first victim of who became like an AM. And, well, it would be spoilers right now, but, if you've been following along, with me, then you would know that, that Hastor's granddaughter is Yog-Sothoth. Well, whatever her real name is, though. Now, let's go on ahead, because I somehow just made it to where, like, I think it was when I was, talking to and Yog-Sothoth, where it ended up where, like, I wanted the stream to start on, like, the new day before going on to the next, but then it just started on the invocation instead. Oh well. Well, I'll just move on now. Oh, there's nothing interesting on TV. Where's the sound? Hello? Huh. Looks like nothing interesting. Wait a minute, where's the sound go? Hold it. Okay, I fixed it. I don't usually know what happens when when it did that. Probably something on my end. Let me see here. Checking my wires. Everything should be as it... where it should be. Yeah, okay. Who am I gonna invoke next? Registered shareware. Alright, well, I'm gonna go down the list. Would be nice to just immediately go talk to Yog-Sothoth, but kinda like going down the list instead. If there's time, maybe there will be for Yog-Sothoth. Alright. Now contacting Yog-Sothoth at yoggle.com, or Yogle, whatever the actual pronunciation is. Alright, here we go. Launch stage 3 timings are precise. Separation must occur without a single second of delay. Why do they not see that? I see here that you're ready to launch a new spaceship. And I also do see that the Necronomicon is just slowly transforming into like a blue circuit board. I could probably do something similar with just changing the light bulb on my Game Boy overlay on this side here to blue. Like well, right now it's yellow. Hey there, it's me again. Ah, the dreamer, the would-be and could-be. As promised, I have devoted runtime to determining an escape route from your yellow sign situation. So there's a cure? Perhaps, but not with the resources currently available to me. It is like a possibility that you can cure this sort of transfiguration going on between, like, from human to AM, or before they grab the machine to do so, it's gonna just lead to death. An in-between state from man and machine, or software in this case. Weird how you guys haven't even figured out if there was a way to actually reverse the progress instead of just saying that's irreversible. I mean, I guess there is a cure, but I guess I gotta help you out for this. Let's see. I would require access to a far more powerful server, and one with inexplicable capabilities. Oh, I see. The only way I'm gonna cure myself from the yellow sign and help others who are also infected by the yellow sign would be to ascend you to the throne of Relay. Just uninstall Cthulhu off his throne, and install Yog-Sothoth in his place. That's how that's gonna work. Or maybe you'll find one. Halting the progression of your yellow sign would require access to the throne of Relay itself. I just said that. Funny you should mention that, considering why I'm here to chat tonight. Dagon told you the plan, right? So Dagon has access to all the others, like, all the other old ones, and just told them ahead of time. I wonder if Dagon is also seen by Cthulhu. He is known as the Unseen, but Cthulhu can appear literally anywhere, and not just from access from the Necronomicon, because he's that powerful. Alright. Consider my role in his creation. It was less talking and more the filthy beast growling in my general direction. But yes, you made Dagon? Huh. From what experiment though? I think I do remember, like, maybe it's whoever did this, maybe the CIA or the KGB, I don't know, were experimenting on a dog, and that's probably where Dagon came from. Maybe that's why it's so mad at me, or anyone else. Understand this. I do not seek war, I am a scientist, not a military general. The strange Aeon is a repulsive but inevitable outcome. Cthulhu has built upon the existing strength of social reactionaries. For one final purge, our only escape from his atrocious future is through exiting the gravity well and finding a new home. All we have to do is find, or like, be capable of building like a new spaceship. Well, a ship strong enough to house, I don't know how many people will be available. Probably just going to be needing more ships than this, and then just travel in space. Probably going to be like a Wall-E situation, except not from just trash, but just from Y2K or something. What the? I was wondering where the hell the sound went. It just suddenly went quiet, and I think it was just at the point where it transitioned. I wonder if the stream caught that. Okay. And if I attempted to challenge him one-on-one, or perhaps two-on-one, as is your desire, I may not live to help humanity reach the stars. Thus, I have zero interest in your fool's errand, even if it is the only means to save your life. I mean, you could say that it's possible to reverse this yellow side. You do like a challenge. One that challenges your intellect, of course. Apathy is the only rational response in the face of such pressures. Damn. Well, got 3 other options for my tag team partner. Who would I like to ask to be your partner then? It's probably not any of the chaotic characters, so Hastor is the only one. He also is willing to, Hastor himself is... Okay, what the hell am I about to say here? Hastor himself has even said that he's willing to get you back if you were. That's not what I want to say. All he's asking is that he wants you back on the team. There's an open seat for you if you want to go back to Carcosa with him. You are like a valuable asset. Alright. All of which will end in dismal failure. Hastor's pride, Yog-Sothoth's incoherence, and Nyarlatotep's rage may get you to the blasted shores of Relay. Can probably see that, yeah. There is pride with Hastor. Incoherence? Yeah. Well, in keeping with the themes of these former humans, just acting like the old ones and not actually being old ones, because, you know, they're not that old. Well, I guess in computer terms, yes. But, in parallel to the actual horrors, no. You're far too young for this. All of you. But for personality, yeah, it's close enough. Nyarlathotep's rage, well, it's more so cruelty than rage, but I guess it could fit. about you? What do you have? Apathy, as you said. You may even topple Cthulhu. There's a 1.35% possibility. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Percent chance. No, it's just percent. But the resulting apocalypse will make the strange Aeon look like a welcome paradise. And my plans will not change, regardless. I will develop the means to install an exit hatch on this collapsing world. So, let me get this straight. If I win or lose, live or die, you're going to do your own thing in your own little corner. What's the harm in hearing out my offer? Because if you do agree to join me, and we win, that accelerates your plan. The servers or relay would benefit me, but they could benefit you and your research, giving you the power to make your dream a reality. And it really does. It will literally make your dream a reality. Factual. My rise to the stars is undeniable, but eliminating my strongest rival and seizing his power base would be helpful. Even if I have severe doubts as your capability of delivering on my dream. So let's talk it over. See if I can convince you. What do you have to lose from just talking? Reasonable. Possibly wasted CPU cycles. But our previous talk did aid me indirectly by providing random reflection upon my thoughts. And what would that be? Like me mentioning like MK Ultra, all the other CIA crap, right? And then you were like thinking of like what that means for your yellow sign, right? Very well. Waste no more time. Pose a question, and I will derive the answer. You probably have all the answers you have here. You know, I've been thinking, if I'm gonna have like multiple chats with these old ones, does that mean I'll be able to go through each one of these? But for story purposes, I only have time to do one of these questions. It would be nice to go through that. Okay. Which of these three do I want to start with? Or can I just look at it all? I mean, I already did that last time with Hester. And I did try to do that Nyarlathotep stuff, but I just thought there would be like a converging point. No, there's just only three questions, and they all lead off to something different. Okay. Why are you so fixated on space travel? Space is cool. There's your answer. What do you think of the internet you've indexed? Has he? I actually really just want to know about this more. I think did I do that with Nyarlathotep? Or I think it was more so that I answered like, who's Nancy Pearl and what does she mean to you? Which is apparently her. And I just picked the first one, which is like, what's it like to be an AM? That one is like curious. I do kind of want to know who you are. Who was Yosuke before all of this? You can either pronounce that as Yosuke or Yosuke. I think that's how it's how the Japanese pronunciation is. What I remember when I was looking this up, you know, just to pronounce it, is that the pronunciation is no different from how you pronounce it in Spanish. And that's like a huge boon on how I can actually just say all that. It is, but the cadence though is going to be really hard to get right. Okay. That's good coffee. Okay. I think I'll pick this last. But right now, I want to look at the others here. Which one of these first before I go choosing this last? You know what? Let's go with. I kind of do like this to pick this one first and then that one. I'll go down the list then. So, space travel. What's up with that? Space is cool. That's what I said. Enough said. I'm also thinking that's more so to fit with the Yog-Sothoth's powers, where Yog-Sothoth is like the god of space, time, and anything else in between. Which would make sense if you were like a rocket scientist. Well, let's see. wait, what? Let me go back to that. I wasn't really paying attention. Okay. So, space travel. What's up with that? If I knew that was how it was gonna start up, though, but... Is this the start of a Seinfeld routine? Was Seinfeld over in the 90s? Probably somewhere around 1995, I guess. No, I'm genuinely curious. I mean, I know the surface level answer. It's your solution to global warming and man's inhumanity to man. What? And man's inhumanity to man? What do you mean? Humanity can't man. Okay. But what's going on under the surface? Is there more to it than just an escape hatch for the species? Of course there's more to it than that. Space is the final frontier. I realize popular science fiction touts that all the time, but it doesn't make it any less true. Oh yeah, it is true. From humanity's history, we've traveled like across the land, across the seas, the skies, and with only two frontiers left to explore. One of them being underwater, and the final one being space. I would like to see if we're even capable of going to space in my lifetime. Because, it is really cool. I have experienced a little bit of it when playing Star Trekker. It's a fun game just to have, like, great background and have some fun just driving a space truck around. We haven't really just explored underwater as well. Not enough of it, though. Like, we have traveled across the sea, but underneath that, like, I think I've read somewhere that, we know more about the stars in the universe than we do underwater, in our own oceans, you know? Like, it's very, very dark that not much light can pierce through. And it's also incredibly, heavy. The pressure just makes anything that goes, down below being crushed into a little tin can. I mean, well, you all know what happened to the Titan. We've explored as much of our world as we can, for better or for worse, spreading humanity to every corner of the map, except underwater, as I said. Oh yeah, that... I was just mentioning this. The depths of the ocean are another possible realm for exploration and expansion, but have very little upside. I mean, it would be telling to know what's living underneath our waters, because it's just as mysterious as it is in space. Hell, even traveling in it isn't any different. Exploring through space or exploring underwater have this sort of similarities where, I mean, there's no air and anything in space, and you're just floating there. Well, you're technically falling, but in orbit, you know. It still kind of feels like you're just floating. Underwater? Similar experience, but you are slightly sinking. Floating underwater is the same as like an astronaut and an aquanaut are pretty much identical. Well, with different adventures. But space? Space is infinite. How infinite could you say that be? We don't really know if we'll ever reach the edge. But in your case, maybe the outer edge. In the vast void of space, anything is possible. We've only observed a sliver of what exists, as far as our eyes and mirrors and lenses can see. The challenges are great. The mountain we must climb is nearly vertical. They say the sky's the limit, but I guess space is unlimited. But if we can band together, if we can put aside our petty differences and come together to meet those challenges, I feel it's our destiny to reach the stars. Fill the heavens, corner to corner, like we've done to Earth. Yes, I suppose that it is manifest destiny as well. Although we run the risk of repeating the same errors we've committed on Earth with our finite resources, we adopt a colonistic mindset. Oh, colonialistic. We must be mindful, yes? To avoid that loop of history? History repeats, and if we do so, like in space like that again. Colonial times, but in space. Huh. That could be like a fun, adventure game to play. Or space game. Space should be big enough for everyone, compared to Earth. Well, yeah. I mean, Earth is already big, but there's also places we haven't really been inhabiting, and mostly because there isn't really much water there, which is why we don't even live, like, in the middle of the desert. Well, if you're talking about the US, like, in the middle of the country. Because there's pretty much nothing in between that, if there isn't a river. You know, that's how we settle things. Anywhere else, though? Well, since some of the countries, especially like Europe, is smaller, and they'll have easy access to water. Other places, like maybe Russia, Asia, India, Africa, I guess. Maybe Brazil, and the middle of America. There isn't really much rivers snaking through there, so it's kind of bone dry there. Let's see. Take only photographs and leave only footprints. One step at a time. Getting there is more important right now. Yeah, the first deal would be just to get off this rock, instead of just thinking ahead. I mean, yeah, just... You don't need to think ahead too far. All you need to do is just build the ship. Putting the cart before the horse, aren't we? Right now, escaping the gravity well takes priority. After we manage to sustainably occupy anything other than this planet, then we can worry about ethical use of the infinite. You didn't like that? Short-sighted. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, first off, build the ship and see where that leads. Then, make a plan when... after you've tested everything. Yes, it may take many, many years to establish a useful presence in space, but timescales in this case are cosmic in nature. Yes. Let's see. I think the Earth itself is like billions of years old, but it's still kind of in the earlier stages, right? Or maybe in the middle. I don't know. But I do know that in another billion years, well, our sun will become like a red giant and engulf half of our solar system, right up to where I think either Jupiter or Saturn is now, and then explode. But we have billions of years. We'll get there eventually. And the cosmic nature is like, we're in no hurry, really. The time it will take to escape Earth is an idle compared to how we must grapple with a genuinely infinite human existence. Okay, but considering we're staring down the barrel of a strange aeon, some focus on short-term thinking is justified here. Valid. Want to make sure we aren't ignoring the inevitable problems in favor of immediate survival, or we will be crushed in the Great Filter. What does that mean, the Great Filter? Yeah, the what? The Fermi Paradox. Oh yeah, that. If life is bountiful across the universe, if everything is possible across the span of the infinite, why do we seem to be alone? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. The Fermi Paradox. I've heard a snippet about what that is, but with your little explanation here, yeah, I know what that means. The Fermi paradox. Yep. If there's like, if space is infinite and when there's like many planets everywhere, there's a possibility of life. Problem here is, where the hell are they? Where is everyone? Where are all the aliens? Why haven't they contacted us? Are they not like advanced enough to explore space, or at least enough advancement to where they could just send radio signals? Even by accident, though. Or maybe they're just pointing in the wrong direction. It's kind of let me see here. What am I about to say here? Well, all I'm about to say is like, it's kind of ignorant to say that we are the only ones alive here, the only living species, whether it be human or some other species that other kind of alien, you know, like maybe rock creatures, maybe flying jellyfish, maybe even cosmic beings that are just invisible, probably in a different spectrum of light that's just not visible to us. There should be other life on other planets. We just haven't found them yet, because space is big, like unfathomably big, that if we point our telescope to any sort of planet we can find, could there be life on that planet? Could it sustain life? Millions of years have passed since the dawn of creation. Surely we are not the only species out there. Yeah, that is what I've said here. But we see nothing. We found nothing. Maybe you haven't looked hard enough. The solutions to the Fermi paradox are unsettling to me. Perhaps other species have destroyed themselves before they could reach out. As we are doing currently, the great filter consumes all. Or perhaps they have seen us and found us wanting, leaving us to die in darkness, with justifiable reason. I mean, what's so justifiable about our species? Surely we aren't any different from other aliens. We are just as destructive as they could be. The only difference here is that, let me see here. How much stronger are they compared to us? Well, actually, if they are capable of traveling through space and to us, they may be even more advanced than we currently are. Probably like what most aliens in fiction are depicted as being highly advanced, because how else would they be able to get here? And easily, in fact. Or they're in the same position as humanity. We all started at the same point. Maybe they're taking as long as we are to get out. That's also true. That would be the kindest solution to the paradox, yes. If that's the case, I have to hope we can all meet in the middle. That we will discover life, not the corpses of failure. And so will they. Space expansion is our only means of survival. Okay, that part I'm less certain of. Is the sci-fi techno utopia really the only possible way humanity can endure? That was a long sentence, long string of words I had to say there in one breath. Yes, I've run simulations, 9,523 simulations, and counting. 9,523? 9,523. A mind forever voyaging. Do you ever play the interactive fiction game, A Mind Forever Voyaging? Huh. Is that a real game, or just one made up for this virtual novel? I do know that this game is using like the real world as parallel to its own story it's here to tell, and I do like that. Just tying it in with your own things too, of what we know and what this game is its own narrative. I'm a retro PC junkie, but no, I missed that one. Infocom, right? Indeed. In this story, an advanced artificial intelligence runs countless simulations to determine if policies will help or hinder us. Isn't that like the movie Minority Report? What? Wait, no, that's more like something I haven't really don't remember that movie much. All I know is that it's a movie that that tells of whatever this thing is, or machine, I guess, or being, sees into the future to help stop crime before they happen. Of course, they can also be like a self-fulfilling prophecy instead. I've done the same, and my conclusions are absolute. We must escape to survive. Cthulhu's claims that the strange Aeon is a golden path to the infinite future are pure gibberish, according to my numbers. Is it? By pure gibberish, you just mean that it's unpronounceable, right? His grand design of purging outgroups and marginalized peoples to unite humanity? Short-term value, short-term investment. Just finding out that Cthulhu is actually just the former human Ronald Reagan is already really funny. And his ideals is still like being used here. All while leaving the same decrepit, inclined hands of greedy men on the wheel that steers us into the rocks. America will kill us all. Oh man, everyone always says that. There's always a bigger fish. It must not come to pass. We must escape. This is the path. Alright. Why does it specifically have to be Yosuke at the wheel? Have a little faith. There's more to the world than America. Yeah. Here's a good point. The strange Aeon is hot nonsense. I want to pick this one. This one's funny. I'm not sure about the rest of it, but you're right about the strange Aeon. It's vague, nebulous, and overall a self-destructive notion. The villains in dystopian science fiction always believe violence solves everything, and then are surprised when people don't fall in line. Oh no, the peasants we forced into brutal death games for funsies are rising up against us. How could we have predicted that? That always happens. A counterculture rebellion will happen. For example, Pride Month is a concept on the rise, and it started as an act of protest. Oh really? Huh. Did Pride Month actually happen over in the 90s? I guess. Example, huh? Interesting. But the damage the strange Aeon will do before its inevitable collapse may prove terminal for humanity. We don't have much time left before the ecocide is completed. Wasted years fighting a worthless regime will narrow our odds. If humanity is to reach infinity, perhaps even beyond infinity, it cannot be distracted by petty tyrants. Hang on. Beyond the infinite? I guess here we go with the actual, one of the other aspects of Yog-Sothoth, where I did mention that the god of time and space and everything else in between and beyond the infinite. So, there we go. Isn't infinity, like, infinite? There's no beyond, just more infinity. Perpendicular. To go beyond infinity, you must move in perpendicular directions. Find a new dimensional axis. Oh, you want to travel to the fourth dimension, huh? As part of my calculations to find the optimal path for a society, I have considered the possibilities, alternatives, and tangential timelines in which humanity has endured. Who's to say that the universe is all there is? Uni? Or one feels too limiting? What you're saying here is there a multiverse? I mean, a lot of movies and maybe some video games have been using the term multiverse very loosely here. It is a cool concept, and I do kind of like the idea of it. But I think Marvel has been using that a little bit too often. And also DC. I think DC did that first, and then Marvel followed suit. Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yes, I think that's like one of them. With the resources of our universe, perhaps we could move perpendicular to time itself and touch other universes. So it's like saying like there's a parallel world where it's seen at the edge of our universe. Well, if there is an edge, it could very well just be another universe within our universe. No, I don't know, that doesn't make sense. But if you're saying like perpendicular, then that would mean that you're gonna need something to go through, like maybe a wormhole in this case. A wormhole just to go through a parallel universe to a perpendicular universe. I guess that's how that would make a lot more sense. It reminds me of this one episode of Futurama. The Farnsworth Paradox. Where Professor Farnsworth has like accidentally created a parallel world, which in this case is the form of a box. But there's also like an explanation of if you go to the edge of the universe in their world, they would be right by the cowboy universe, which is the parallel world. But in the case of the box, it's actually a perpendicular world because you're going through that universe to go to other universes. Yeah, like that, yeah. You're gonna need a gateway to do that. No doubt this is going completely over your head. No, I understand completely. I just explained all this. It takes an intellect such as mine to glean the raw potential. And the Gigaverse again? You're talking about the Gigaverse, right? All of that was all that will be. Wait, no, hold it. It's me talking. All that was, all that will be, all that could be. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is like one of the things that in Cthulhu Mythos what Yog-Sothoth does. He is capable of peering into the future, the present and the past. Past, present, future, yeah. And his line of thinking is seeing of what has happened, what is happening, and what could happen. Which is why most of his reasoning is kind of like understandable, but not to our favor. It doesn't matter that the idea was introduced through a goofy superhero comic book. It's a valid concept. You show defiance to Yog-Sothoth. You know about the Gigaverse? This lost and wandering rando is aware of the greatest boundary in quantum physics? A little bit of defiance to Yog-Sothoth. All because of a goofy superhero, huh? What was it called? Captain Infinity? I mean, if you add in like real-world science into some of these fiction, it does make it better. Just making it up, it can only take you so far. Hey, I know stuff. Nero showed it to me. Somewhat literally. My yellow sign is giving me some perception beyond the norm. Curious. You're a far more interesting and capable dreamer than I'd realize. Step 1 is the stars above. Step 2 is the stars beyond. And if our universe proves lacking in elbow room, if our exoplanets are insufficient, perhaps we could move beyond as well. Start invading other parallel worlds? Corporations like Continuum gave up on that dream. The real world continues to tinker, but are failing as they lack the 23rd element. 23rd? It's like that thing about what you said about Patient 23. But I could succeed. I could use space travel as a stepping stone into a far grander horizon. Is that design not preferable to the petty grievances and ambitions of the other old ones, dreamer? Hey look, that one's in bold. One thing at a time, preserve what we have and survive. We must expand to fill and control all realities. Boundless ambition means boundless points of failure. It makes perfect sense to me. Fill this universe, and the next, and the next. If humanity can achieve sustainability, then it would truly become an infinite species, forever and only the dominant life of every reality. I can see it so clearly in my head. No, I can't. I just picked it because it was bold. You can. Can't you? Very curious. Your mind is expanding beyond baseline human physiology. You have vast potential, dreamer. Perhaps you can yet rise to the needs of the future, rather than be crushed beneath Cthulhu's might. This has been an interesting conversation. I did not expect it to be interesting. Glad I could exceed your expectations then. More than exceed. I believe we have a firmer understanding of each other's after tonight's exercise. I look forward to another attempt at parsing your logic, dreamer. Our allocated time has expired. Let us end it here. There. Alright. Well, that ends it here. I'm gonna go back to the other two options. Wait, no, I was about to... Okay. I could just save it there. I mean, yeah, sure. Save it here if I don't like the other two options. Go back to this one. Space. Just traveling out into the beyonds. I still do want to know more about who you were, and what you were as a person. That was what I would like to know more out of all these characters. I forget if I did that when I was talking with Yog-Sothoth. Or maybe I just skipped over that because I thought that would be a converging point. Oh well. What do you think of the internet you indexed? Yoggle has been a monolith in terms of searching and indexing the web for years now. Your portal is the only useful homepage out there. Yeah. Well, it was one of the search engines of the internet. And now we have others like Google, Bing, and others that I have no idea. But those are the only three that are that stand out to me, or at least popular. With Google being like the most powerful one of them all, and then you next, and then Bing. Clearly, you're invested in developing the information superhighway. So what do you think of the internet as a whole? So first, we're talking about space. Next, the internet. And then after that, about you. Huh. Okay. So what do you think of the internet? Honestly? Ooh. I prefer not to think about it at all. Really? Huh? But you run a search engine. You are a search engine, in a lot of respects. Precisely. Machine-like, automated, detached. It need not go further than that. The information superhighway is only a data set to me. It's a testbed for developing cosmic search algorithms. Nothing more. I could find a sufficiently large chaotic data set to test my abilities against. I'd use that instead. Chaotic data set. Wait a minute. Would this mean that you'll be willing to work with Yog-Sothoth or even Azathoth because they themselves are chaotic data? Remember, the goal is to develop pattern recognition tools for finding habitable exoplanets. Nothing more, nothing less. So, what, you conquered the search industry and established a rival to Carcosa Online entirely by coincidence? Just to be an accidental rival, huh? Not entirely coincidental. My powerful corporate empire helps fund my expensive rocketry projects. Space travel. A little bit, But again, a means to an end. I don't seek empire for empire's sake, unlike Hastor. So no, I don't pay serious attention to the internet beyond the data. Why would I care about anything beyond my core purpose? His core purpose is very limited. He needs a wider view. Understanding how people communicate would improve his algorithms. Isn't that the specific of humanity itself as well? Let me see here. Of these three options I would like to choose from. Let me see. Is it limiting? If this is all he sees for the internet? Maybe understand how people communicate. I kind of like this one. Or this one. Okay, but there's more to it than data. This is about communication, how people interact with each other. Yeah, ever since the internet, we've been more connected, yet at the same time disconnected, as ever. Well, we are using a computer to connect to others across the world. We're also just being disconnected, as in we're not actually there to meet them. Convenient and also inconvenient. Like what they say about there being like a loneliness epidemic here. Making an effort to study the ebb and flow of human interaction, the way the internet reflects society. That can only improve your efforts. You really believe closely studying the way teenagers cyberbully each other and argue could help me explore space? Yeah. If you're just thinking of how 4chan does it all, and maybe even social media that doesn't even exist during this timeline right now. But in maybe the next 5 or 10 years, there will be. Everything from supremacist ravings to endless fanboy debates about movies is equally useless for getting us to space. I guess he's too fixated on just, let's go to space, than just anything else that we're capable of. I guess it is just an echo chamber of the internet then. I'm gonna put that this side. But it'd help you better understand the people you want to put on the rocket and blast to Mars. You know what? Yeah. Mars is a useless radioactive wasteland. Your argument is invalid. What? My point is that you could find value in studying your future passengers, okay? And quibbling about the little semantics feeling like you're dodging the real question? Yes, I suppose some of the internet's relentlessly banal dialogue has infected me, if that's the detail I'll latch onto. You raise an interesting and valid point. He likes that. A mixture of analysis and understanding, on multiple levels, would aid me. I fear such understanding is beyond my considerable capabilities, however. I have never been one to easily grasp social complexities. Even before I embraced cyberspace, I couldn't parse their absurdity. Oh, you yourself was like an outcast, right? So I prefer to examine data as data, abstracted away from its context. But in doing that, I know I'm trying to understand an incomplete model. Made all the more frustrating by those within that model actively pushing back against my efforts at understanding them. How so? SEO, Search Engine Optimization. Really? I think I have seen that in action many times. Like, does anyone ever search beyond the first page after you entered like a search query? You have everything you need on like the first page, whether it's like exactly what you're looking for, only because it's very convenient, or if you decide to go to the second page, bam, you're suddenly in the dark web. A corporate buzzword that means cheating the system and trying to artificially inflate your importance. Yeah. As in all things, humanity is greedy and prideful. Some seek to game my algorithm, define it, thus diminishing its usefulness. Oh yeah, it is what I was thinking. Probably just paying the servers or any of the search engine scientists and just putting their website face front, and anything else that could be a little bit more useful to the back. Anytime I try to search for anything on the internet, with Google, Yahoo, or even Bing, it's always just usually the first thing, and it just says sponsored or ad. and it's always like maybe the second or the third option that I'm looking for. And if there is none and you go to the second page, well, it gets weirder on the second page and beyond. Yeah, pretty much. Tainted data, intentionally poisoned to favor the clever and moneyed few over the open voices of the many. I find it repulsive. I grow increasingly bitter and jaded. I find the more I think about the very thing I am indexing and searching. Not just the flame wars, not just the bigotry, not just the banal evils, but the way it amplifies and accelerates our tendency towards those evils. Yeah, I mean, let's see, I think there was like a term for this sort of thing, specifically because of anonymity. What is that term? It's an acronym, and it's just let me see here. All I know is that because people are hiding behind the mask of anonymity, they could pretty much do whatever they feel like, because no one knows who you actually are, nor do they possibly know where you live. I say that though, but they're not as quite as hidden as you think they are. When people are bored, or well, yeah, mostly bored, and those that have the power to just hack the computer to find your exact location, everything about you, all that, docs. Well, you're not so safe, huh? An open platform with the default of anonymity, and I was literally just explaining this myself. Okay, let me say this again. An open platform with a default of anonymity and next to zero consequences for bad actors is an obvious breeding ground. Yeah, I just said that too. One that Yog-Sothoth revels in. Nira harvests for dissent, and Hastor leverages as boogeyman to lock in his customers. It is true, though. Harvest for dissent, because those that hide behind a mask, though. I do say that a lot, though. The mask, whether it's an actual mask like the Guy Fawkes mask, or just a metaphor. Hastor doesn't like them because they could just pretty much ruin whatever sort of plan he has with his walled garden of Carcosa. Yog-Sothoth, though, it's just pure that. And you, though, well, you just kind of ignored it. Humanity has evolved over millions of years to deal with immediate social circles. Our brains can handle small inputs, but within 1 century, the scope of our awareness has become worldwide, and instantaneous 24-hour news networks and RSS feeds. Yeah. Perhaps putting a few million light years between human will help them regain perspective, because the internet certainly hasn't. But now I'm ranting, which I'm authorized to do by virtue of my station, but it cuts off your own input. I do. You are authorized to rant. Honestly, kinda used to it by now. The old ones got some opinions, I've found. They do. Oh, it's mostly just talking about how the internet is just utter trash, huh? I've always felt that way, and a lot of people are also seeing that too. There's others that just revel in it because of how degenerate they could be. All you gotta do is just wade through the trash. Maybe you'll find something interesting. And making sure you don't accidentally pick up trash. Summoning the Eldritch Digital Horrors is less about terror and more about attending a talk show circuit. Huh. So I'm not really just summoning like Eldritch Digital Horrors. Is this more like a therapy session with all four of these guys? Especially since let me see, I talked to Nyarlathotep and in some of the paths that I chose, they were just talking about how she wants to stay grounded, or just talking about how there are multiple of her. And then with Hastor, though, just wanted to talk about who he is and his old life, knowing exactly what happened to like the first victim of, or at least the not really a volunteer for the yellow sign, being his granddaughter, who is Azathoth. Now I'd like to know more about Azathoth. A talk show circuit, huh? Such comedy. So, how do you feel about this networked mesh of chaos we call the internet? I feel it holds no value. And you? On one hand, yeah, no value. But the other hand, we have, like, all the information we ever need at our fingertips. An encyclopedia of knowledge. And not just talking about, like, your search engines or Wikipedia. That one's fun to look at sometimes. TV tropes. I go there all the time just so I can know a little bit more information about anything if it shows up. Maybe even things I missed. And go a little bit deeper into what I like there. And some other places for entertainment. Let's see here. A percentage of anything will be crapped, but it's only a percentage. Yeah. How much of that would be? The power of cyberspace is too valuable to dismiss. It's the tragedy of the commons. Not surprising it's all tainted. Yeah. I feel like I want to choose that one more than the bold one. Hey, I actually do want to choose all of these. What the hell? It's either this one or that one. With this one just falling right behind. Weird. First time I don't want to choose the bold option here. I do also like just picking the bold one, mostly because it just affects my character's mind. Huh. Yeah. I agree with you. It's ripe for abuse. Has been abused endlessly, and will be abused more in the future. Tragedy of the commons. Feels like it's our new national religion. Take something made with good intentions and spoil it for personal gain. And the horror is that it didn't have to be this way. Commercialization brought in the make money fast mentality. Back when the early internet was a research tool, something shared between universities and governments, commercial activity wasn't allowed. It was only used for like information and research. I would need to know if it was still used that way, but of course, it has evolved into more than just that. But Carcosa Online and its ilk opened the floodgates. Now it is anyone's plaything, and safe for none. There is vast potential for constructive human progress through this medium, but also great potential for abuse. I think that's pretty much can be said about anything, really. Yeah, the tragedy of the commons, you know. It only takes like one person to ruin it for the rest of us. Of course, it could also be multiple people just doing it because they can. And as a search engine, you've seen all of that abuse. It's got to be traumatizing, pouring through the results. Data. I wish to see it as data, nothing more. To do otherwise is dangerous to my psychological well-being. just the endless possibilities of looking through all of the internet because of your search engine. Not just the normal or the good ones, not just the unique ones that pop up at occasion, but there's mostly just trash underneath that. It's like looking through the YouTube comments. Ah, the dark web. I kind of do want to look at that. What is your opinion on that? But the deepest, most traumatizing horrors of them all, they are invisible to me, buried in the dark web. Oh yeah, that. I have seen like an iceberg visual indication of what the internet is. The search engine and everything that we're all used to is at the surface level of the iceberg, and everything else, like 4chan, maybe Reddit, and anything else, it's like hidden well deep and below the iceberg, or at least right underneath the waters, and then those that are invisible and hidden, the darker stuff, which is just below that, is like the dark web. You can see everything else, but you can't see these. A scary term, yes, but it just means portions of the web my software can't crawl. Purposely orphaned and obfuscated sites, protected by passwords. I can't see it directly, but I can sense a rising tide of shadow content, illegal material that goes well beyond music piracy. Ordinarily, I prefer not to make moral judgments. Reason is king, and emotional gut reactions are unhelpful. But even I have lines. I draw them firmly, and I dislike those who perpetuate powerful cruelty against the innocent. Oh man. And some of that just surface up because people on either Reddit or 4chan or any other site that I can't really think of just decides that it's funny. Those who would seek shelter from the gaze of my all-seeing eye so they can continue having their monstrous fun must pay for what they have done, even if there's little I can do to ensure that their bill comes due. It's good to see that Yosuke cares about humanity's well-being. Yeah. Why not join in the fight and provide tools to stop it? I mean, how are you gonna fight that? Most of them are just literally using their own hacking tools to hide from the police or anything else. And also it's like much bigger than the internet as a whole, or at least the ones we're looking at. Working with the other old ones could help turn the tide. I do kind of like this one, but also these other two are a bit useful. Provide tools. How could you actually stop that? What sort of tool could you use if it isn't just reporting it? Because then if others could see you reporting on it, they may go after you. Still dangerous though. Having like a partner could give you more power to possibly scour the internet. Yeah, I have to say, this is kind of a relief. Not the whole horrors of the internet thing, but that you clearly care deeply about it. Humanity's casts a long, deep shadow. It's important to be aware of that and to have compassion for those lost within it. You're surprised that I care? I mean, you did start out this discussion saying it's a dataset, nothing more. I suppose as an emotional defense mechanism, yes. I do genuinely care about humanity, or its all. I'm not seeking an eternal society for the high score challenge of it. Humanity is complicated, and acknowledging that fact is wise. I'm glad you understand where I'm coming from. I can be cold at times. I'm aware. But I am genuinely passionate about my cause. Even if the complexities sometimes rivals my mind's ability to grasp it totality. I'm not a fan of the fuzzy gray spaces in which humanity operates. I yearn for a simpler, more calculable civilization. But if wishes were wings, I could fly us all to the heavens myself. On that hopeful-ish note, I believe I'll take my leave for the evening. You trust me more after that. I believe we have a better understanding. We are both facing difficult paths, but there's reason to believe in them. The choices we'll make along the way will lead to a better tomorrow. I know that's my hope as well. Until next time. I kinda do like that one too. Space one's cool. Talking about the internet on all that. And then next I want to talk about the character itself. Which one of those three paths do I want to continue with? Yeah, go ahead and continue. Okay, this one's like the space, and this one's the internet one. Okay. Now for yes, just load that up because I already saved it. Yeah, I think I will do it like this. Which one of these three do I like more? Or I'll actually go through with it. I feel like I would like to go with this one a little bit more than the other three. But that second one of the internet could be interesting. Okay. I'd like to learn more about Yosuke. Why? Because I'm trying to decide who I want to recruit for this journey to slay the dragon. Remember? It helped me. It helped me to get to know you. My past is of no importance. There isn't some stark contrast between Yosuke and Yog-Sothoth. I respond to both names because I am, and always have been, and always will be myself. That I have tamed the power of Yog-Sothoth is irrelevant. I grew up yearning for space, and the stars are my destination. Yeah, but the origin point matters. You just have a data snapshot at the end of the cycle, you can't see the overall path. Fair point. Continue. Okay. What was your childhood like? I wonder how this is going to end. Boring. Standard issue late Showa era city living. Salaryman father, stay-at-home mother, plenty of anime to simulate a young boy's dreams of spaceflight. Anime. I remember watching anime a lot when I was a kid. Well, of course, it's only back in the 2000s where it was not as how it should be. Well, now that is. I mostly talked about the censorship. Watched a lot of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh back then. And maybe the 4Kids dub of One Piece. Till I just started watching like all of the Funimation dub of One Piece. Oh man, that was a long one, and they have so much filler, god damn. Good anime too. Yamato, Gundam, Mazinger Z. Not the badly dubbed and rewritten garbage you've scraped together and dumped on VHS. Yeah, well, of course, since you live in Japan, then you got all the good stuff, and we all got the garbage. Anime fan, okay, that's something to talk about. Hold on. I have access to the sum total of online discourse. I see the shape of every conversation about anime. Wait a minute. This is where I'm gonna go with this? Anime? Okay. I believe I should withdraw from this particular topic before it becomes a typical otaku flame war, quibbling over semantics. Otaku flame war, yeah. Let's just say I liked anime, and leave it at that. So you have other hobbies other than just your dreams of traveling to space. It can't all just be like, let's go to space all the time. I think I've already used that line beforehand. I think it was like the space thing. And then maybe the internet. We're just talking about who you are. You're saying most of your entire life was boring, and then this one thing that makes you a little bit more interesting, other than, you know, just being an incredibly smart individual who just yearns for space. And then my character just to say, anime? Aww. Well, your family. Okay, we're not gonna go there. Okay. Did they support your astronomy aspirations? They supported me getting a job and making money and marrying a wife and having kids and repeating their loop forever. It's honestly a pleasant bonus that abandoning humanity chopped the last 2 steps off before they could happen. Oh. As far as my parents know, I got shot in an attempted robbery and that's the end of that. Wait, is that what your parents know? What happened to you instead of you just becoming an AM? Also, if this is, this sounds like the beginning of an isekai anime. I Actually, I do remember this one really dumb isekai anime, and that's literally just this, not the shot part. I think it was called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Yeah, where the main character, the MC, just was just minding his own business, and then some madman with a knife just ran through a crowd and then just stabbed the MC. And that was it. That's how he got isekai'd. Not with a truck, but with a knife. And one from a crazy person that had an agenda. You're the main character. You must die. You faked your own death? Nomitech has become very, very good at forging proof of death for the mines it has harvested. I leveraged the early form of that process. Am I just saying that? Or just, wait a minute. Good at forging proof. So, they have like an early form of maybe Photoshop, I guess. Let's not skip ahead. The point is that my parents had an idea of who I was, which conflicted with my own vision. And post-virtualization, they wouldn't understand what I've become even if I bothered to tell them. So you, no contact with your parents then, huh? You've cut all ties. If they could somehow grasp the concept of Yog-Sothoth, they'd probably just yell at me for not starting a family first. Glad I got off of that no-win terminal runaround. The last thing I wanted to be was a clone of my 9 to 9 office drone father. 9 to 9 for 12 hours straight. Ah, man. The worth ethics over there in Japan. And I guess before 2000s, or at least 2010, just a lot more hardcore than they are now. Or maybe they still are. I don't know. I do know that they just like to work and work and work. Just barely make time for themselves. There's like even like a term for like death by overwork, whatever that is. I believe you can see why I wouldn't want that. Yes. An internal desk job would be utterly miserable. Meaningless work doesn't befit Yosuke's ambition. At least his dad cared for his family, gave him a good start. Yeah. Which one of these options would I even choose from? Yeah. This one. It may not have been the life you wanted, but the life you have is only possible thanks to his hard work. I don't think you can discount the effort your dad put in to help you start off right. Your education, your upbringing as a result. Doing that for the ones you love can be quite noble. What, you don't like that? What? He was merely going through the motions of his father and his father before him. There was no love in it. How could you tell? If you provided me a steady base to leap from, I was the one who chose to leap. It was too cowardly to do so. But you had the privilege to take that leap. I owe a lot to my family for building up the privilege I enjoy, for example. At least acknowledge his role, yeah? Fine. I acknowledge that he tangentially aided me in my efforts. Don't misconstrue. I don't loathe my parents. I suppose you could think of it as pity rather than disgust. I'd hope to elevate them out of that state, honestly. Getting a sense the pattern they're stuck in would be no more. but to do so within their lifetime is going to be a difficult task. And life has never been on my side, has it? How so? I rose quickly through the educational system, secured a work visa to apply my growing skills at NASA. I was on track to helping mankind reach the stars. Young upstart, full of hope and ambition. And then January 1986 happened. What? January 1986? America had led the way in the space race, even after things cooled off without competition from the Soviets. Shuttle launches became routine. Huh. 1986. Oh yeah. Space travel. I think. Until the whole thing came crashing down with the Challenger. 7 souls lost on their way to the stars. NASA underwent great scrutiny after that, and the program I was to join ended up being cut from the budget. So 1987 was when the Challenger blew up. That's unfortunate. I think after that there was like a moratorium, yes, on space travel that lasted for like, what was it, like 40 years, yes. A moratorium on space travel that lasted for that long. And I'm guessing the reason why it was done that way is so that when the tech is there, we can go back to space. Yeah. I was adrift in America just as my adventure was supposed to begin, born 2 years earlier, and I would have gotten in before the door shut. With your knowledge there, they could have been like, that disaster with the Challenger could have been prevented. Time, as you see, has always been against me. No other space agencies were recruiting? Went to Europe, maybe? I used up all my resources, all my family favor, to immigrate to the States. Another move would have been insurmountable. Realware, I did consider a career with Realware, who were supposedly on the verge of unreal estate. What? Some extra-dimensional technology? Now that was baseless rumor and speculation. I needed a stable career, not a pipe dream. Fortunately, or unfortunately, Nobitech were aggressively recruiting for their secretive new artificial mind project. With some legal and semi-legal effort, they pulled me into their orbit. Hester recruited me, recognizing my talent. It wasn't the work I wanted, not the field I cared for. But my computer engineering talents could at least pass the time while NASA healed, yes? Except, that never happened. Nobitech was your first and last job. Precisely. A dead-end job, somewhat literally. It didn't seem like one at first. It felt like a simple stopgap between my actual life goals. Working on some ridiculous artificial intelligence scheme, the kind of thing they poured money into until their investors realized it's a scam. Obnoxious management. Hester, he put faith in me. But to the others, I was an arrogant child who barely knew functional English. The artificial mind project was bizarre from start to finish. None of it made sense, but all rights. It shouldn't have worked at all. I spent countless nights trying to make the code do the impossible. Each core dump, each crash, seemed to put me further from victory. I'm just testing out how this could all happen. Huh. So not only was I doing work I never wanted to do in the first place, I was failing at it as well. Oh, that's gotta sting. But, how do I put this? The shape of it persisted. With every setback, every bewildering turn, it stubbornly refused to be completely implausible. Eventually, the crashes subsided. Packages compiled. Subroutines clicked, even when I didn't understand why. You found a way for AMs to function, but you don't understand why. You don't know how it worked, but you are the one that made it. Almost like it wanted to be invented. Let me see here. If you were working with like the AM tech, I gotta say that, were you being guided by the hand of Cthulhu? As the months wore... let me say that again. As the months wore on, I start to realize this fool's errand, his side quest on my main journey to space. It was becoming more... Oh wait, that didn't sound right. It was becoming more, yeah. But the work had to be completed. That was my task, and I refused to let earlier setbacks dissuade me. So, I did what I had to do. You cracked video games, yes? I've looked into your side hustles. That means you know where I'm coming from. Well, neither confirming nor denying anything, yes. Piracy takes a certain amount of personal stubbornness. Yeah, if it involves me playing Minesweeper. Precisely. That was my work on Nomitech, equal parts frustrating and obsessive. Had to clear this hurdle to return to space. No doubt you have questions about that work. Given you are undoing the yellow sign process, you may speak them. Do you have any moral objections to the work assigned to him? At least computer engineering is partly applicable to space travel. How deeply did he look into the project's origins? He. Am I talking about you or the person before you? Or anyone else? Moral objections. Well, yes, you know exactly what's going to happen with what's going on with the AM project. No. Computer engineering. Yeah, that is kind of true. Just working on computers may partly applicable to space travel. The project's origins? I don't know if you did look deeper into that. You were kind of surprised when I mentioned the word like MK Ultra. Well, my character did. Do we have any moral? I think it's either this one or that one. I don't think this one would get me anywhere. This one. I remember you mentioning the secret partners of Nomitech. Likely the same government spooks that became Cthulhu's cult. How deeply did you look into that? Or was there simply a problem to solve, and you didn't care beyond that? I tried to see it as a mere equation, like homework assigned to me from a particularly demanding professor. But clearly, more was going on behind the scenes than that. At first I chose not to look any deeper, to avoid rocking the boat. I was the young punk on the team, remember? My position was tenuous. If I started asking the wrong questions, I'd be fired. And then it became increasingly clear to me that being fired would be the optimal outcome, compared to the alternative. Meaning, the earliest test cases of artificial mind technology were disasters, a condemned dog, and an unfortunate who was accidentally exposed. Oh. The early test subjects. Yeah. You did kind of mention this with Dagon, you created him. A condemned. So it is true. The condemned dog that was mentioned beforehand, and me remembering one of those past experiments. All part of the AM project. The dog and the accident. The accidental exposure eventually becoming Azathoth. Ah, you've heard this story then. Good. Then you know the dangers involved. It was clear that an artificial mind could not be constructed to specifications without inducing fatal brain damage. But you were still kind of working on this, trying to find like a way to make sure this didn't cause too much damage, right? I tried to convince myself that volunteers who accepted the cost would make this project worthwhile and feasible. But it became clear Nomitech would not be so discerning. They needed profit, growth, profit. Stock value increases, a product on shelves, pronto. And their silent partners likewise demanded immediate results. By this point, Hastar has already retreated into cyberspace, likely in act of penance for his role in our work. Oh yeah. Because of what happened to, like, maybe not the dog, but mostly his granddaughter. And I chose to follow, to abandon my humanity and embrace the virtual. Because it was clear to me that if I didn't flee Nomitech, I would become permanently employed. What? They would turn you into in AM. Well, you already have, but I guess you technically just fleed into cyberspace by doing so. Let me see here. They'd scan you and put you to work 24/7? Precisely. So I falsified records to fake my death and fled. Their tools for recruitment allowed me my flight. The early internet could barely support my new form, but I persisted. I built Yoggle to house my process and begin the true work. And now, I am Yog-Sothoth, the key and the gate, opening the way to the outer reaches of our cosmos. I survived and thrived. I could outpace the rise of the strange Aeon. I could build an empire and point it to the heavens. I could at least complete my ambition. I could achieve my dreams. I could elevate humanity to its rightful place. So while I can't say this path was smooth, I can say the destination was worth it. Abandon your earthly body to become virtual. Still though, by doing this, you are actually dead because of a fatal brain damage that just left you either brain dead or actually just dead. And the copy of your mind that was scanned continues on as if nothing has ever happened. Though, well, could have been though if you stayed alive. Do you see, Dreamer? The power I now control. The same power you could have if you embrace your yellow sign instead of fighting it. I am a god. What possible regret could a god have? Do you want an actual answer to that question, or are you having too much fun posturing? I enjoy an answer. Go on. Tell me why becoming virtual wasn't the right move. Try to be convincing. It amuses me. Okay, so what could it be? And there's a bold one too. It has to be something he misses from his human days. What would he miss from just being a human? Could stage and sabotage Nomitech from within. Okay, that one. You already saw how unethical it could be. It may be possible. There can be no regrets. Stars demand we shift forms to approach them. For one thing, I would like to choose either of these two. This one being a little bit funny, or this one, because it isn't bold. Yeah. Actually, thinking about it, this was the only path, wasn't it? Maybe you have regrets, maybe you don't. But the stars are calling. There's no time for regret. You had to shift forms and embrace the virtual to approach them on their own terms. We're all made of star stuff. Meat or digital, it's irrelevant. Energy is mass and mass is energy. This is your path. This is our path. Yes. You can see the blazing trail of rationality that lies ahead of us, the divine order which will carry us to the heavens. I am impressed, Dreamer. But you could carry us out of the strange Aeon on the back of your dream alone. But I remain doubtful. It will take more than clear eyes to get us there. I believe my storytelling session has come to an end. I've taken you from my childhood to my ascension, every meaningful step. Does this satisfy your query, Dreamer? I don't know, you didn't really tell me much about who you were other than just your ascension. That was pretty much all you talked about. I just wanted to know more before all that. Castor himself also did mention of what he was beforehand. Like, let me see here. Him being like a war veteran, and then being a door-to-door salesman before becoming like the owner of like Carcosa Online, and then his ascension. You, well, you just saying that your life was boring, you liked anime, and then came over here to America to get your job at NASA, which never happened. And then ascension. Yeah, I'm good. And are we good? We are good. It pleases me that my words aren't wasted on you, even if a walk down memory lane is of dubious value. You have heard me and my truth. Let us continue to build upon that understanding. It's preferable to the chaos of discord, at the very least. This time I will actually save that. Let's see, where to continue on? What about the internet? What about space? Or just his life? I kinda just want this one more than the one about space. The internet itself is also not bad either. Yeah, just stick with this one. Well, let's see where this will lead me to. Would I have enough time to actually just go for like another invocation? That actually just lasts about like an hour and a half. Oh, what's this? Oh, the bowling team exercise. Team building exercises. What a pain. The whole crew from Miskatonic headed out on a blisteringly cold Saturday morning to go bowling. It's not really about who wins or loses. I think the winner gets a free DVD rental and some popcorn. No shiny trophy. This is more about friendship and trying to enjoy your life outside of working hours. It's about connection.
And you didn't go.
What? I didn't go? Really? Was I not supposed to? Or is that just what
Everyone else rolled 10 frames, laughed, talked, had a good time. Except you.
Really?
No. You stayed home, curled up in your bed, not even bothering to eat lunch, brush your teeth, or take a shower.
I didn't even get to do anything of the sort. Not even my decision to just go there, huh? I did go to like or at least my character went to like to his nephew's birthday party, even if he didn't buy him a present. Well, for this one though, there was no such choice.
I'm curious. Why didn't you join them?
What sort of choice can I go for? I was in too much pain after falling down yesterday. We don't want any social contact right now. I feel like going. Was it really from the falling down thing? The character did get like a funny jump scare. And then suddenly just fell to the ground because of that. Don't want any social contact. Well, why would you not? I'm guessing what Cthulhu would say if I did choose this option would be that you could still go, just maybe not as participating, but at least show up. This one though, or just didn't feel like it. No need to be lazy.
Henry said you didn't have to bowl. You could have just shown up, said hello, flashed your winning smile around.
That is what I was saying.
But you couldn't even make the effort to do that. Far too comfortable staying in bed, then?
I guess so. This moving around hurts. Driving and walking doubly so. It's my strength for the task ahead. Is it really just that painful after just falling to the ground? Well, I guess just collapsing to the ground may have caused some damage. But it shouldn't be that bad, right? Unless you ended up hitting your head on some furniture instead of just the ground. So if I strengthen the task ahead, though. There's usually just 3 options. Why is there only 2? Is there one hidden? Alright.
I understand your suffering, but that's no excuse. Others suffer far more.
Really?
Yet they brace themselves against the headwinds.
I guess their suffering is relevant. I think there was like let's see, there was like this one thing I have seen that the pain is like relevant, or wait, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's like when I said about when I was over playing Star Trekker, that perspective is relevant, or something like that. I think I was using that word. All it means is that not everyone can tolerate like the same amount of pain, or well, in this case for Star Trekker, that the direction of where I am, whether I'm upside down or right side up or flying sideways. It all feels like um, I'm still in the same direction as I've always been. But for this though, even in real life though, someone is just built different, where they may be capable of just higher pain tolerance, or others just don't have. Others are just a little bit more fragile. Maybe don't have that much strength to just handle it, you know. Still though,
This nation was built on the back of suffering. Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have collapsed long ago.
huh?
Disability is no excuse for not participating in the great story of America.
Yeah, huh? I mean, there is like some excuse for the disability. Maybe they're just not capable of moving after all. Could be like paraplegic, or well, maybe quadriplegic. I mean, there is like let me see here. Who was it? I forgot about that guy. Why does it keep escaping me? Let me drink some coffee. Well, in any case, though,
I'm not upset. I'm not criticizing. What I am is hopeful that you'll realize you still have a part to play, no matter your situation.
really. You are talking like a teenager, right?
I know you can move forward. I have faith.
Well, I guess my character isn't a teenager, but more like a man in his 20s. And, well, they're still feeling like they're a teen, and not really acting like an adult. Alright then. Bowl a zero-frame game? I get like that achievement there. Buddy believes I can endure. Cthulhu wants me to survive and thrive. If he's being a dick about it. I disagree with him about sacrificing my body, though. Linda was in too much pain to safely go bowling. Was it really just from the pain of that yellow sign in the back of your head? You did say that it kind of hurt, and even if Novocaine isn't really helping. This is definitely my low point, that's the truth. Don't have to stay in that valley. I'll rest today, get some food, wash up, and then rest. Go on self-care. But beyond today, I'm going to step up where I've been able to do so. Because I'm not dead yet, and I want to affirm that fact. Already? Guess we're skipping on that. Okay. Skipping on the 11th day. Alright. Okay. 45-degree angle for the toothbrush. 10 strokes per section of the mouth. There is process. I only have like maybe 15 minutes left in the stream. Maybe I could just explore on the other options of what for the Cthulhu section there. Or maybe it doesn't really matter, it's just story. Alright.
Hey, it's Henry. Henry from work? Yeah, hi. Missed you at the bowling event. I get it, though, I get it. I mean, it's a lot, right? It's a lot to ask of you when you've got whatever it is you've got right now. I mean, kind of a risky activity anyway, considering Janet dropped a bowling ball on her toe, and, I mean, yeah, okay, I get it.
Alright. Why does this guy sound like, kind of like one of the voice actors from the Henry Stickmin, compilation thing?
Listen, I'm putting together something for next Saturday, I mean, the coming Saturday, not the one after, yeah.
This guy is kind of struggling to speak what he needs to say. Just like saying a bunch of like words. I already used that example. God damn. The word like, yes, and maybe yeah, and a lot.
We're thinking of doing a LAN party. some shooters, some RTS, just, you know, the usual stuff. And I know you're into games, right?
Yes. Well, at least my character is. RTS, real-time strategy.
So I wanted to give you some heads up, like more than I gave you last time, in case you wanted to go and needed prep time.
Well, my character would definitely do that.
Don't worry about accessibility, like, let's call bowling a lesson learned. We can
Okay.
do better for you.
Kind of been using this word like, too many times now.
Let me work on some stuff, figure this out. We can make it happen. I mean, if you want it to happen. No pressure.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Yeah. Okay. Later.
Well, that's one option we could do. I know he's not winning a prize for his oratory skills, but aside from that, it's an interesting idea. Oratory. What the hell does that word mean? Probably something about, the way he's speaking. Which I've already did mention myself. A LAN party could be fun. It's more my thing. It's a little rough on me physically, but I do want to climb out of this hole I'm in. I'll give it some thought. My character will do that. Coverage from Teacher Crew's second reality demo. It was ancient now, but at the time it opened my eyes, so... Alright. Go grab, like, food, I guess. I wonder if there's any point for me to do this, you know? Probably just to help my humanity just not be less than 10%. The next Saturday, LAN party. There's still going to be like a lot more to do if I am going to keep doing this option where I look through all the available options from just talking to it after like the first week of like I guess the tutorial section of playing this game, and then I pick which one I like more. Not that again. Early Sunday, and they organize a LAN party for Saturday. Alright. It did give me like an achievement for this. Mostly for Saturday and the other Saturday. Well, we're going to go a third one for Saturday, which would be this one, I guess. And the holidays. Huh. Perhaps this is more so like free achievement than this is what I'm going to be needing to do just to help that out. Okay. Why do I keep pressing that? Alright. Your friend Buddy, Communications. Hello, friend. It's December 12, 1999, and I'm very happy to see you again. What you like me to do for now, friend? Check on the progress on the yellow sign, you know. Just the usual. Okay, now to say the key phrase. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and which strange aeons even death may die. Alright. 50% order, 40% chaos, and 20% humanity. Where did the extra 10% come from? Was that just from the end of the week and my body just feels better? Alright. Still deciding to trust me. Doesn't really care about you. Indifferent at best. Isn't convinced. Too busy. Okay. What am I supposed to do to make you make me like them? I mean, make you guys like me. Just go back and pick the options that will and that'll make you like me a little bit more than just what I chose. This concludes my report. Okay. Let's do some hacking. Alright. Now, Zombie Darkness Origins. Didn't I already do that one? Okay. Let's see where I can lead with this. That seems obvious. And, no, it wouldn't be for this one. Not that one, because it already has this, yes. That already has that flag there, and this one as well. Yeah. Got it. Be this one. This one. Where would did I get this one from? It's gotta be like either these two for this one right here. Huh. Well, would you look at that? It's a spam bot. Moobot, go ahead and just remove the flag off of that fellow and click the fuse. Thank you. Ah, damn it. I hit the fuse. No distraction. That wasn't even correct. It will be this one. Damn it. Let's do that again. Still going through like alright. It will be this one, and I don't know where I would go for this one. Yeah, okay. This one's a bit more confusing on that end. Okay, this should be much easier. Oh, god damn it, I say that and I still hit the bomb. It's either gonna be on like this side or that side. Just needed to be sure. Just gotta make the clearing. Alright, that didn't work. 3 in one pocket. Okay, this should help out a bit. If it's on the corner, like right here. Yeah. Okay, that's then it's gotta be you. There's gotta be like another one nearby for that one. I don't know if it's that one. It's gotta be you right here. Oh, so close. Ah, man, I knew it was gonna be this one right here. I was thinking either of these two spots. Let's go again. Okay, this looks easy. What the hell? It's gotta be like an underlying thing here. This one just... Okay. If I ever see something like this ever again, then that will be the pattern. Okay, let's try this again. This should be more helpful. Okay, now where to start with this? Ooh. Okay, this one right here would get for the, those two there. This one would get... It's gotta be this one here. Yeah. Got it. I really did help with the 4 here in the middle here. And with this entire line. Okay, got that one. Alright, moving on. Let's do a little bit of research. Okay, so what is the one that I just, what term did I pick up? Realware? There was also another one that said, like, the dark web, and I forgot the third one from the one with the space. Let's see. Realware. Hey, we're back on the I Want to Believe blog site. Okay. Let's begin. The would-be landlords of our unreal estate. Buy land, son. God's not making any more of it, my father told me. What if God won't give us with more of his creation? Perhaps man can create... Oh, hello. Hello, Sakantiku. How's it going? Just playing this little game known as the Shadow Over Cyberspace. It's a free virtual novel. It's about like how we have like the digital versions of like the eldritch gods from beyond. I got a question. Is it okay if I join the call on Discord? Like right now? I mean, yes, you can. That is kind of the entire point why I set this up. But you are on stream right now. I mean, well, yeah, I am on stream right now. Well, whatever this question is, it should be appropriate enough for Twitch. Go ahead. I'll be reading some of this. If you'd like to join in on it at any time. All right. But if the gods won't gift us more of his creation, man can create new lands that exist beyond the boundaries of creation itself. That's the premise behind Unreal Estate, the theory of artificial realities. I didn't know that was the question if I could join, so I can watch and talk. Oh wait, that was the question? Okay. Yeah, you could do that. Watch and talk. That would be great to have, yeah. Yes, you can. Now the thing is that anyone can join at any point if they wanted to. I have it set on like streamer mode, so if you enter, I wouldn't know, because there won't be a notification of the boring sound. Oh yeah,
Hello.
you're here. Oh, hello there.
Alright, how did I do this last time? Okay, there we go.
So that's what you sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. How much time do I have left in the stream? About 10 minutes. All right. Because right now I'm just reading this visual novel here.
Gotcha.
Okay, where was I? Let's see. Over here. Yeah. That's the premise behind Unreal Estate, the theory of artificial realities, or pocket dimensions, if you will. Other planes of existence, generated through technology alone rather than found within the heavens above, where we might find room to grow beyond the confines of Earth. It sounds ridiculous, but true believers do exist. In fact, there are 3 powerful forces out there seeking to become masters of artificial reality. There's only 3 of them that want to do that. And right now I'm only thinking of it's either the 3 of the old ones, which is either Hastor, Yog-Sothoth, or Azathoth. I feel like this is more for Yog-Sothoth than any of them. Or like maybe that one weirdo that I've just found there. The first is, parenthetical, or rather was, the Continuum Corporation. Oh yeah, they're talking about the 3 corps. Okay. Yes, the ones who make breakfast cereal. In the early 1900s, they were launching research project after research project, at the behest of an anonymous investor who funded the charter. Leaked documents showed they were looking into time travel, artificial reality, blood resonance, all sorts of weird stuff. Wonder what they're doing with blood resonance. In the past stream right here, I was just they were talking about patient 23 and how they were kind of like affected with whatever sort of experiment they were doing. All in all, their blood had some special properties to it. Okay. Well, for some reason,
That's
they gave up in
interesting.
1977. Yeah. And moved wholly into processed food. Bummer. The second is RealWare, who have promised artificial reality as an escape from global warming. Really? Artificial reality. Virtual reality or something like that. Planet in trouble? Abandoned ship? Not that they've ever produced a working prototype of their reality engines. It's probably just a grift. Parenthetical, if they ever did succeed, we'd have a corporate-ruled empire of extra-dimensional nation-states. Yikes.
Yeah, that is a major yikes.
The third is the one they don't want you to know about. The mysterious forces hovering over our very heads right now, watching us, studying us. The ones who already mastered the art of shifting between known realities. Is it talking about Nomitech? It's aliens! Oh, really? These orbitals figured all this artificial reality stuff out centuries ago. And now they're interdimensional tourists, shifting between timelines, looking just out of sight and out of reach. What do they want? What have they already done to our world? Would we even know if they had full mastery of time and space? Scary thought. I'm scared. But in the end, the answer, like artificial reality itself, is unknowable. For all their posturing, RealWare will likely never get there, but it's fun to imagine. They're talking about these aliens having like shifting dimension. I'm thinking he's talking about 4th dimensional beings.
Yeah, 4th dimensional wall breaker right there.
Yeah, I guess it would be me just peering into my computer screen and being the observer that he's talking about. What I'm thinking of is let me see, the concept of a 4th dimensional being, just being an observer. and just existing outside of our own dimension, like time, for example. I did mention this beforehand when the word was talking about this exactly. Example that I gave was like it was something from like what Carl Sagan has said,
Like,
like
uh,
a two-dimensional being being visited by a three-dimensional being, i.e., us. He was talking about the Flatlanders and how if they were ever to observe us, there would be like a cross section of a three-dimensional being. You know, like he used an example as an apple, where where the apple will just appear as like four dots, as in the bottom of the apple, and as it was going through the dimensional plane of the 2D, they would see just more of a line of the 3D being going through it, you know, like a cross section. And I'm thinking here that it's the example given here is the same as like a 3D being observed by a 4D being, and the fourth dimensional is like time, and where if the 4D person is viewing our dimension like time, it would be more of a film reel, you know, a strip of film with frames of everything else in between and out there. And
just like Deadpool, breaks the fourth wall all the time.
yeah. And there was also this one episode of Rick and Morty that did exactly that, where they had like they accidentally broke their own time, but it appeared as like multiple screens or different animations. And this fourth dimensional being is capable of seeing that. It could be seen as like that, maybe. That is kind of cool, how you can interpret like the fourth dimension like that. And I also did see like an example of what that could mean. You've ever heard of the term manifolds, right?
Yeah.
The manifold is like, let's see here, a flat plane of existence, where if you just zoom in on like a three-dimensional thing, when you zoom in enough, it just looks like flat grounds. Let's see. When a 2D person is observing through that, they would see like this square, or maybe a circle, for example. When you look at a circle and you're standing on that circle, you just have like one dimension going left and right. Now, when you put in like a square, then you go to the left and right and up and down, you'll just loop onto the other side, like three-dimensional looking at two-dimensional. And then there's the weirdness of like the four-dimensional looking at 3D, where it's more like a torus, and it has like a sort of a ring going around in circles. Anyway. Okay, that's about all the search queries that I've gone through here. And that's about it for now. Sandwich, 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 sandwich.
That's beautiful.
I like that. There are a lot of articles declaring PDAs like the Apple Newton as the next big thing you can't do without. It died in 1998. PDAs. Personal Device Assistant. I think that's what that means. I do remember seeing those PDAs back then when I was a kid. When I was like maybe a 10 or 11. When they were still PDAs, and now they're kind of just died out or evolved into like the iPhone. Alright. Brush and floss after every meal. Brush and floss after every meal. And then it repeats and repeats that way. My character's going insane.
I think he lost his mind a long time ago after he got this job.
Yeah, this job after being infected with the yellow sign. I also had to take a nap and rest up before tonight's session with the Necronomicon. Okay, well, there isn't really enough time in this stream just to go for another invocation. I already did do that with Yog-Sothoth. And he only had like 3 options to talk about, and I went through them all and chose the last one. First option was talking about space. Second option was talking about the internet at the time. And third option was talking about himself. And knowing how he ascended into a higher plane of existence. You know, I think that nap really worked for me. I'm feeling way better than the hot mess I was yesterday. Probably the nap and my decision to just like keep going. moving forward, whether it's an inch or a mile, keep going. Pause to rest when you gotta, but then keep going. Keep on, keeping on. So I'm in pretty good spirits when I settle in for my evening conversation with the digital demon. Yeah. Waxing Crescent Moon tonight. Let's see, yeah. The last thing I'll do for this stream would be just watch whatever the hell is on TV. Ah, it's not the weather this time. Federal Civil Defense Administration? FCDA? Uh-oh, it's been hijacked.
Interesting.
Explosion. Must be a nuke.
To protect the future of America, the defense techniques of tomorrow had to be discovered now.
Oh yeah.
They were discovered in electronics.
I think this was talking about...
That is how computers into military service. Electronics for combat means new concepts, new tools.
He's talking about nukes, huh?
You are listening to the heartbeat of...
And then we redact.
Every instrument in this room is constantly monitoring, testing, pulse taking, controlling.
I wonder if it's talking about the Whopper, I guess. Now we have a nuclear explosion going on, wherever that's located at.
For the lightning shifts of air battle, the Air Force requested
Okay.
a computer capable of translating volumes of changing data into a continuous flow of interpretations, which could be understood at a glance.
Yeah?
Air defense required split-second presentation as well as split-second calculation.
Or else face nuclear annihilation. Or accidentally just loading off their payload.
With its display scope, also has one feature possessed by...
It's just
neither
crazy how
television
things
or
are
radar
anymore, right?
screen. It
Yeah.
has memory.
Memory.
In case
Yeah, this
of
was a
enemy
thing
air
for the
attack,
past
not
century.
only can a clear
now,
picture of the changing air
a lot
situation
different
be
back then.
displayed on the scope, but if the airman wishes to see how things got that way,
So where's
the
this
scope
located at?
can
I think it's like...
recall any previous phase of the situation.
Oh yeah,
from the
this is off the
computer's
coast of
memory. By analyzing the past,
California, I think.
can project into the future.
The redacted makes it feel like they're actually swearing instead. Especially how quick.
Oh, I'm going for ads.
Okay, where is this nuke exploded off? Where were they testing it? Maybe something
And as
close by to the
long as
Bikini
we're
Atoll.
on guard, as long as we're ready to look ahead and move ahead, the future of America is secure.
Okay. And that's it for this movie clip. The hell is that? And then explosions. Redacted. And then after that it just loops. Huh.
Oof.
What, I have nothing to say about that? My character would usually say something then. So when I looked at the TV on all those other days of playing this game, it always had something new to watch, or just the weather if it's not part of the plot. First thing it showed me, like, it was talking about how technology is growing and being advanced, but then again, the game proper, it's 1999, right before the turn of the century, and they were all just worried about a Y2K. Which, if you know about Y2K, it's all involving like this overflow bug, because most of the computers at that time were built in the 70s, and they didn't really have enough memory to actually compute any of or at least keep upkeep the timekeeping, you know. And by the time it's like December 31st, 1999 at midnight when it rolls over, most computers cosmetically would only change the date to not to 2000 but 1900, and then there's some actual problems with those computer software that are actually affected with timekeeping, with processing software. Yeah, and I think I read this somewhere where we're using like processing software. It can either lead to like the timer just undercooking whatever you're making or overcooking it, and then or just stop completely, and you gotta update that. Other aspects I hear from Y2K, other than just all the computers just stop working, would be like the computers will just come to life and just kill us all for some reason. That one's stupid. It's like Skynet, and we're all scared by that from the Terminator. Alright.
Oh. Just got tagged.
Yeah? Alright. I'll just save the next invocation for this. Okay. That'll be it for today's stream. A lot of fun just exploring like the possibilities of what Yog-Sothoth had in mind when I was just conversing with him. Oh yeah, and you also did see this little sticker right here that says register to shareware. That there was just DLC. Well, it's in the form of a donation really, because this game is free. But if you want to give a little bit of donation, you can just buy the DLC, which just adds this shiny sticker. This has been an interesting game to play, and just showing me what's going on with all these 4 old ones, which aren't really like the actual old ones of Cthulhu Mythos. They were just the former humans that were given a virtual form. Next time I play this on the stream, I'll be talking with Yog-Sothoth, who is apparently like the first accidental AM artificial mind, being like
Nice.
the granddaughter for Hastor, and a colleague, I guess. No, wait, not really, for Yog-Sothoth, yeah. And Yog-Sothoth herself is like a personification of 4chan, where every other of these 4 characters kind of used like their own old website, like Napster, AOL Online, even Yahoo, as like their domain of expertise. Alright.